On certain mornings at the Achensee, when the water lies perfectly still, people claim they see shapes below the surface. Dark lines, angles, a suggestion of rooftops. And before storms, fishermen still speak of a sound rising from the depths. Not waves, but bells, as if something beneath the lake is still trying to mark the passing of time. Welcome to Of Mountains and Men, where we explore mysteries, myths, and legends from the Alps and beyond. Tonight, we explore how Austria's largest alpine lake became linked to a vanished village, and why the deepest waters often carry the heaviest stories. The Achensee lies high between the Karwendel and the Rofan mountains. Long, cold, and extraordinarily deep. In places, its waters descend more than 130 meters into darkness. Even today, when clouds drift across its surface, the lake can seem less like water and more like a vast opening in the earth. For centuries, people living around its shores have said the same thing. But the Achensee did not always look as it does now, and that something once stood where the water now lies. Long ago, on the southern edge of what is now the lake, there stood a flourishing village. It lay in a gentle hollow, protected from the winds, close enough to the forests for timber, and close enough to the slopes for pasture. The people there were known far and wide, not for their kindness, not for their faith, but for their abundance. It was said gold clinked in every purse, the barns overflowed with grain, that even children played with toys spun from silver thread. But where wealth gathered, pride followed. No beggar dared knock on their doors. No traveler could rest in their inns without paying far beyond the usual price. Even the priest, once a humble man of faith, now wore robes threaded with gold and lifted his goblet higher than his prayers. One evening, as the village prepared for a great harvest festival, an old woman in tattered grey came limping into the square. Her back was bent, her hands trembled. She asked only for a piece of bread and a place to rest for the night. "Move along, hag," said the butcher's wife, waving her away. "We have no time for beggars." The farmer turned his face. "This is no place for the likes of you. We've earned our blessings." The woman looked around the square. Then she turned toward the glowing tower of the church and slowly climbed its steps. The priest stood in the doorway, goblet in hand. God helps those who help themselves, he said coldly, and shut the door. The woman gave a single nod. That night, the music was louder than ever. Torches burned, wine spilled across the stones. Laughter echoed through the hollow. Then came the sound. First, a low murmur, like a distant thunder beneath the ground. Then, a crack that split the celebration in half. The earth trembled. From the mountains, water burst forth. Black, gray, relentless. It rushed into the hollow, swallowed the fields, tore through the streets, and rose around the church tower. Within minutes, the village was gone. And when the dawn came, where golden spires had stood, only still, shimmering water remained. They say that on certain days, when mist clings to the surface, you can still glimpse the shadows of rooftops below. That before storms, church bells can be heard from beneath the lake. And that once every 100 years, a golden goblet rises to the surface, only to vanish again with the ripples. There is no historical record of a real submerged settlement beneath the Achensee. No archaeological evidence of a drowned village has ever been found. But the lake itself gives rise to such stories. The Achensee is the deepest lake in Tyrol, and one of the deepest in the Alps. In some places, its waters plunge over 130 meters. Long before modern measurements, such depths were unimaginable. Dark water without visible bottom invited explanation. It invited stories. For centuries, large parts of the land around the Achensee belonged to the Benedictine monastery of Ficht, founded in the 12th century. The monastery controlled forests, fisheries, and farmland. Its presence shaped the economy of the entire region. Some historians believe that legends like the Sunken village reflect not only religious morality, but also the quiet tension between wealthy landowners and ordinary people, between abundance and resentment, between power and dependence. Across the Alps and throughout Europe, sunken village legends appear wherever deep lakes exist. Almost always, they speak of pride, refusal, punishment. They transform natural features into moral landscapes. The lake becomes not just water, but a lesson. A warning held in place by stone. Even today, when storms gather over the Achensee, the surface darkens almost to black. And in those moments, it becomes easier to understand why people once believed something was still there. Some legends are built from what we lose, others from what we fear, and some from what lies too deep to measure. At the Achensee, water replaced a village that never was. But the story remains, floating between reflection and imagination, as deep and as still as the lake itself.